Since a state of emergency was declared in Queensland on November 9, police have taken action against 18 people for deliberately lighting fires, and shockingly, more than half of those are children.
Yeah, the question that so many of us find ourselves asking when this happens is what motivates a child to carry out such a destructive act? Well, to help us get a bit of a better understanding on it all, we're joined by psychologist Sandy Ray. Sandy, hello to you. Take us
morning,
through
Tom and Deb.
The motivating factors behind adolescent fire starters like the ones that the police have had to deal with in not just Queensland but around the country.
Look, it's quite bewildering, isn't it, for most of us to sit here and rationally say, what's wrong with these kids? Why do they do it? And the American Psychological Society has come up with a list of why certain children do it. So it's a vast list, well, 6 different categories of why children do it. You know, the young ones do it out of curiosity, that's one reason. Some do it for a cry for help. There's distress at home, there's family chaos, they're feeling disconnected or bullied. Another category they've identified is delinquent children, so typically children who engage in risky behaviour. Whilst they understand what they're doing, they actually don't understand the consequences or devastation they could potentially cause. Another category they've identified is severely disturbed, so children who possibly engage in pyromania, who really are either psychotic or have psychotic episodes. Another or 2 more categories are the cognitively impaired children, so people who suffer some sort of mental incapacity, and socio-cultural is a 6th group that they've identified. And the socio-cultural, what that means is children who are pressured by their peers or a group of children getting together and challenge or dare each other to do such a thing.
And then what is the difference then between someone, a child, who might, as you say, listing all of those areas, who might do this out of curiosity, out of peer pressure, but then someone then who will go on to continue to light fires later into life?
Well, you know, it's typically thought of as the young ones, the ones who are doing the curiosity, are very young children. You know, they do it once off. The other one is really a psychological disorder called pyromania. And those children and those teenagers are classified as either having some sort of mood disorder, substance abuse, they're coming from very disadvantaged homes, and they're the ones that we really need to be mindful of, because they do it out of an impulse control. They get excited and aroused, and when they light that fire, it then also releases a tension or an anxiety that sits deep within them.
So for parents out there, what's your advice to them to try and stop their children from going down this path?
Well, one thing we really know about these children is that, especially the ones who consistently light fires, is that these are often children whose parents are very disengaged. So I guess the overarching message here is that parents need to be involved with their children. They need to set very clear boundaries about fire setting. They also need to ensure that children are not given the responsibility of starting fires, of lighting fires, lighting candles, lighting the fireplace at home, and be very diligent about communicating what are the consequences of lighting fires, because we know that children don't understand the consequences of their action. That's why we have children's court. It's nationally and internationally understood that children, whilst they say, oh, they know what they're doing, a lot of children actually don't know why what they're doing, and that's why under 18 we have a different set of laws for children.
And that is the question too about punishment. How do we go about punishing juveniles who do start these fires? How do authorities deal with it?
Well, in recognition that we know that there's at least 6 different categories of types of children and fire settings, the treatments and the intervention are according to the child. So if you have a child who is cognitively impaired, you're not going to dish out the same sort of treatment as a 17-year-old who is being a delinquent, who's a repeat offender. So, you know, we have cognitive behaviour therapy, we have family counselling, we have incarceration, we have restorative justice, where these children go back into the community, meet the burns victims or meet people and walk through the community and see the damage they've done. We've got fire education, we've got psychotherapy. So it really depends on the type of child that we're dealing with. So it's a very eclectic mix of treatment and consequences and punishment.
All right, Sandy, great to get your insights on this one, because it's something we're going to be hearing a lot more about throughout summer.